This is the first of a grand total of 2 Keyboardmania titles to be released for the PlayStation 2. After that, they kind of stopped making the arcade game versions, so they kind of stopped making the home console versions too. In this game, you use a miniaturized but still otherwise real keyboard plugged into the USB port of the PlayStation 2. Your goal is to hit the right button at the right time, and if you're fortunate enough to have the right size TV, you can actually line it up so that each note in the screen is directly above each note that you press on the keyboard, just as it was in the original arcade game. In addition to the standard notes, which look like small horizontal bars, there are also vertical bars that represent hold notes. When you hit a hold note, it extends the bar to represent how long you're supposed to hold the hold note. When you release the hold note, you also get a grade for releasing it at the right time. There is also an extra column on the far left side that represents the effector wheel. It will come down as either an up arrow or a down arrow, and you have to push the wheel respectively. If you choose, you can move that last column over to the far right side and use the right side wheel. If you think you're really good, you can get 2 controllers and actually play with 2 keyboards on either side and have a lot more notes at your disposal. Much like other Bemani games, you can change the scroll speed of the notes, but in Keyboardmania, you have to do so at the difficulty select screen by holding down a specific set of keys, which you either have to memorize or keep the manual handy in order to use. This is an example of the doubles mode I mentioned earlier. You can use 2 keyboards side by side in order to increase the difficulty. With 48 keys instead of 24, the difficulty can become quite challenging quite quickly. However, it does more closely match a real keyboard, so if your goal is to really learn how to play, then maybe that's better for you anyway. One downside of this title is that it has fewer than 30 songs, meaning the song selection is very limited and most of the songs aren't really all that great. However, there are a few very memorable, very good songs in the game. If you're looking for a better song selection, you might be better in looking for Keyboardmania 2 for the PS2. But the problem with that is that Keyboardmania 2 is generally much more expensive. The graphics really aren't that great, but it's a music game. You don't really need great graphics. The sound, on the other hand, is actually quite good, despite what it might sound like on my crappy microphone. I would give gameplay an A because the core gameplay is fun. I would give the song selection a D because it's really quite crappy. The graphics a C-, and the sound a B+, with an overall score of C+. This game is also very import friendly, but keep in mind that it does require a PlayStation 2 that can play Japanese titles. Otherwise, it will be of literally no use to you. I hope you enjoyed my review of Keyboardmania for the PlayStation 2. Feel free to leave comments to let me know how I did, so perhaps I can improve the next one. Thank you!